This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle, and I hope this broadcast finds you well. So, mystery messaging, official White House comms, yeah. We're going to talk about that. There's been some weird stuff going on. Maybe it's a little bit something for the Iranian negotiator. You know, we want to keep him alive. We got to watch what we're doing with comms, right? They don't have regular phones they can use, don't you know? Especially talk about sensitive stuff like giving Donald J. Trump 8 to 10 tankers, which we already knew because we are the Mountain Man News, KNEWS. So anyway, folks, we got a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm going to do that once I play my videos while people settle in and get themselves a cup of coffee or a cold brouhaha or an adult beverage or, I don't know, some warm buttermilk, whatever you want. I watch a Gomer Powell where Sarge drank some buttermilk. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Speaking of buttermilk, what are we going to do after we see the videos? We'll be like butter. Get on a croissant. I don't know. I'm just thinking of different things.
Dust on my Bible, flags on the line. You laughed at our warnings, called truth a crime. You sold us your secrets, wrapped up like hope. Signed all our futures with a poison note. You sat in your mansions, we prayed in the rain. You cast every favor on a ledger of pain. You thought you were covered, names on a list, private plain pages you swore don't exist. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. You thought she was certain, thought he was too. Shook hands in the back room, said they'll never break through. You mocked every farmer, every steel-toed boot. Called them crazy and bitter while you buried the proof. Now screens start flashing, whole names, young kids, whole world scrolling through the things y'all did. Digital soldiers from the cornfields to Rome say leave our children alone or we're taking you home. Let's go! Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. From the back roads to the big tall towers, patriots worldwide, this the final hour. You can beg, you can bargain, you can scream, you can hide, but the book's been written and your name's inside. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. Nothing's gonna stop what's already signed. Game over.
So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about. and they have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. If the deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you all are doing well. Let me see who came to see me tonight before we get into what we need getting into. Things are going along as planned. There's Colette. How are you? I was looking for you last night. Sissy's here. Chet's here. Rebecca's here. Debbie's here. Debbie number one. Robin's here. Miss Mendersue is here. Oh, I gotta get my booms ready. Todd's here. Buttermilk and cornbread. Yeah. Do you all ever see that Gomer Pyle where Sarge met a woman he liked and she was trying to get rid of him? He said, he said, do you have anything to drink? She said, some buttermilk. Oh, okay, I'll have some. Chet, how you doing? I had to be there. You had to see it. Sissy, nice to see you. Elva. Let's see, Cole's here. Linda's here. Sherry's here. Who else is here? Melinda's here. All right, everybody's rolling in. Everybody's being like butter and getting on a roll. Man, that's making me think now. Cornbread with butter, hot cornbread, put some butter on it. Wow. Strawberry jam. That's good for breakfast now, I'll tell you. Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Hey, my lurkers, all my lurkers, I say hi. And to everybody on Rumble. That's a tough crowd over there. They hang in there. They show up. They might not say much, but they show up. So, who did I miss? If I missed anybody, I give my apologies. I do have my spectacles on. And Randy, how you doing? Speaking of spectacles, remember Colette? You came on to. I had somebody on here I hadn't seen in a while named Cosette, and I said, "Oh, what a nice name, Cosette." And I didn't have my spectacles on. I thought Colette was Cosette. But anyway, maybe we'll see Cosette in the future. She might be a lurker now for all we know. I don't know. But anyway, hello to everybody. Everybody. And make sure you give me a thumbs up. Where's Wayne? I haven't seen Wayne yet. He'll be here. He'll be here. So anyway, yeah, give it a thumbs up. Helps the video to get around. And let me get my booms ready. If nobody's seen my booms, new people, got any newbies? We had a newbie last night. Seemed like it was like, pow! I don't know, maybe a bit back, pow, pow. But anyway, I got in my title that drastic measures. We're going to talk about drastic measures. Chuck Schumer's been told about drastic measures. Somebody's getting some comms on the White House, official White House X. And this isn't all that there has been put up on the White House X. They've been having comms show up and then disappear, brief comms. One showing a camera like just going around a room haphazardly and somebody laughing and saying, oh, that's cool. When is it going to launch? And you see a woman's shoes, and then it goes out. And then they took that post down and put some other posts up showing what they call artifacts. Frank was showing it on NPC show. He was referring to them as artifacts, little squiggles and lines and what looked like a movie negative going across the screen that was real hard to make out. And anyway, it's very interesting. And we'll talk about it. Hi, Tammy. How are you? Flannel Cheese. How you doing? Nice to see you. Who else? Who did I miss? I don't think I missed anybody. If I did, I apologize. So anyway, Carg Island. Is the media trying to set, I would say the administration, but the American people really, up for failure? They're using terms like final blow so they can have a moment. I haven't heard anybody from the White House, anybody on Trump's staff or Trump himself, nobody say, we're going to do a final blow. And, but that's the narrative they want to get around, because we know this could go on for weeks more. This could go on for another month or 2 months. It is armed conflict with a major power in the Middle East. And so if something isn't a final blow this week, they could all say, Trump has got himself in a quagmire. They're supposed to be the final blow. So we'll go over that too, because we have to remember that these are insidious, nefarious Marxists that are very well versed in psyops. Okay, so they're always setting up a narrative for future psyops. Sometimes it dies off, sometimes it gains traction, but we're going to keep track of it. So anyway, I got a lot of videos about Donald J. Trump. Here's the Telegraph. You know, friends like UK, we don't need no damn enemies. But here's Donald Trump has claimed Iran gave the U.S. 10 oil tankers as a gesture of good faith. And, hey, we knew that. We knew that when we saw that they were draining down Carg Island and loading up those tankers. And they were for Donald J. Trump. And they went out allegedly under a Pakistani flag. Remember, Pakistan sent a message directly to Iran. You bomb Saudi Arabia, and we're going to do whatever it takes to stop it. And we will engage in our armed conflict with you. We will attack you. Pakistan, remember I read that? And so isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? You get 10 oil tankers. If 2 was worth $400 million, what are we looking at with 10? You know? So, yeah, where's my thumbs up? Miss Bender Sue wants to know. If you're on Rumble, hit the follow button. I've been stuck at the same amount of subscribers. Who knows what's going on there, but I know I have some dedicated people and I appreciate it. Not many, but they hang in there. So anyway, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And this oil crisis that they're pushing out, we're dealing with Venezuela. We're getting tons of oil from Venezuela that we never saw before, and making a ton of money. And so is Venezuela. And we're doing our own exploration, our own drilling. We're expanding our own ability to take care of ourselves. For once in half a century, we're going to start taking care of ourselves. And I'll play some clips from Trump. I might have him in a hodgepodge where we kind of patch him together where he was at in the discussion. But he said a lot of things. He said, hey, we don't need NATO, in so many words. And they turned their back on us, and we're not going to forget. And he told us to remember that in the future, what I said. Because we've given them trillions of dollars. And when you think of all the countries we've been defending for the past over half a century, 80 years, let's see how long it's been. Yeah, 80 flipping years. And we're always getting the middle finger from them. They're always charging us tariffs. And when Trump tries to charge tariffs, they finance a bunch of nefarious attorneys to go in. I don't know what they did with the Supreme Court. That's a ridiculous ruling about tariffs. All that stuff's going to be changed out. You know why? Because we live under the rule of law, whether the Supreme Court likes it or not, whether Congress likes it or not. So, let's see here. Here's Donald Trump. Let's see what he's got going on here. This was at a cabinet meeting. I got clips from a cabinet meeting and on Fox and Friends, different clips. We'll play them because he doesn't say things not for nothing, okay?
Want to get dragged into their wars either. You know? One thing we're very disappointed, I'll say it publicly, we're very disappointed with NATO because NATO has done absolutely nothing. And I've always said, 25 years ago, I mean, I was somebody that wasn't a politician, but I was always involved in politics and I understood politics. I said 25 years ago that NATO's a paper tiger, but more importantly, that we'll come to their rescue, but they will never come to ours. And I want you to remember that we said this. They didn't come to our rescue. Now they all want to help. When they're annihilated, the other side is annihilated, they said, we'd love to send ships. They actually made a statement, a couple of them, that we want to get involved when the war's over. No, it's supposed to get involved when the war's beginning, or even before it begins. We had the UK say that we'll send, this is 3 weeks ago, we'll send our aircraft carriers, which aren't the best aircraft carriers, by the way. They're toys compared to what we have. But we'll send our aircraft carrier when the war is over. I said, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Don't bother. We don't need it. And we don't need it, and we don't need them. We estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our mission, and we're way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, way ahead of schedule, and their aircraft carriers are not the best, by the way. Yeah, Chet, hang out with your buddies. Appreciate you coming back to see us. And yeah, did you see my other videos? I had some memes up you might like. KNS Cleanup, how you doing? Nice to see you. Who else snuck in while I was stalking? Yeah, give me a thumbs up. So anyway, here's a meme I was going to use on my thumbnail. But we'll have opportunities to put this individual in the spotlight in the future. And his name will be mentioned. His name is Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? Where were all these whistleblowers when Obama loaded a plane with $150 billion to Iran in the dead of night? Who's that, Robert Mueller? In the background? Yeah. When you watch that video, Game Over, that I play at the beginning of the stream, you'll see him leaving a secret meeting with what looks like to me to be Soleimani. And he's awful quiet now, isn't he? He's awful quiet. John Kerry. Speaking of hearing about Barack Hussein Obama, I believe this is, let's see if this, no, this isn't Hexeth. This is, let's see, let's see who this is talking. It ain't, I got one with Hexeth, but we'll play this one.
I can report to you today that we have, along with your foreign policy team, presented a 9-point action list that forms the framework for a peace deal. This has been circulated through the Pakistani government, acting as the mediator. And this has resulted in strong and positive messaging and talks, as you just indicated to the press. Discussions, and you have directed us to maintain confidentiality on the specific terms and not negotiate through the news media as others do. I can say this: we will see where things lead, and if we can convince Iran that this is the inflection point with no good alternatives for them other than more death and destruction. We have strong signs that this is a possibility, and if a deal happens, it will be great for the country of Iran, for the entire region, and the world at large. Your policy of peace through strength is the most effective tool for a diplomatic resolution here, just as this policy was an effective tool in each and every one of all of the other conflicts you settled in your first year. Iran is looking for an off-ramp following your powerful threat on Saturday. Your indications that you are willing to listen to peace proposals have been well received. You have instructed us that your preference is always peace, and that we should make that our priority. We have delivered that message, sir, along with the 15 points for peace. Finally, we have told Iran one last thing: don't miscalculate again.
Good. Thank you very much. Good job. Doing a great job.
Doug Burgum talking a bit about the Pakistan situation and Trump's peace through strength policies. And I hope my signal's holding up. Yeah, Sissy, I hope you don't lose connection either. Nice to see you. But remember when I read that post that Saudi Arabia had contacted Pakistan and India were fighting, and they said, would you stop it until we take care of this Iran situation? And they stopped. The Pakistanis had bombed the Indian capital. Afghan capital, Kabul, and also getting in a scrap with India. And it's coming together. All those little pieces that we've noted, like, that's significant, that's significant. Then you start to see 2 + 2 = 4. Oh, and 4 + 5 = 11. Oh, you start seeing it all come together. What else is going to come together? A lot of different things. And I want to get this one out of the way before I go on to too much more. Well, let me go ahead and play Hexeth, since I was talking about Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? But here you have the Secretary of War talking about how we got to this situation. Are people culpable?
Networks that we know. Many of the Iranian military factories and bases that we're systematically destroying were paid for by the pallets of American cash that Barack Obama flew into Tehran under the Iran deal. You might call it an inconvenient truth. Iran took our money and turned it into weapons and bunkers and ammo. And now we're destroying those weapons, and you're righting, Mr. President, that grievous wrong. And make no mistake, we had to act. And our objectives are clear: no nukes, no Navy, and a complete dismantling of their missile program and defense industrial base. And as Marco pointed out that mission, and the VP as well, has not changed since day one. Yet,
yeah, he started off mentioning Barack Hussein Obama, and you saw Trump sitting next to him, and he would close his eyes for a few seconds, and the mainstream media, Midas Trash Pal Network, Occupy Democrats, all that deranged liberal trash will say, look at Trump, he's falling asleep. He can't keep awake. And then they'll put up stuff like, I can't wait to open the newspaper and see, you know what they say. This is what I want to talk about real quick. I could have talked about it the other night, but I didn't. Meta had a judgment against him. Was it $3 million? $3 million. Instagram, YouTube helped destroy teen girl's life. Jury finds, opening floodgates for social media lawsuits. What do you think I'm going to ask the question about? For my longtime listeners, hi Mark, how you doing? My longtime listeners and people that are in my age group, mature individuals, will recall that I've said for years that they polluted and corrupted our society when they handed out those free Obama phones. It was nothing. And now I'm going to say, if Meta is going to be liable in this situation, yes, it's going to cause a firestorm of lawsuits. I said they might as well have handed the keys to their door for their children to be psychologically molested by every pervert on the face of the earth when they allowed kids to have phones with no restrictions open to the internet. I've talked about how filthy sites were that children watch every day, how the culture has degenerated into a sewer where you can't have conversations with people anymore with that sprinkled with the F word all the way through. I talked about creators, different creators who were on sites like Kick and I don't know what the names of them are, but they got 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds. Listen to them talk about their genitalia, talk about all kinds of garbage. And with the push of a button, they're in a world that will warp their minds. How the heck do you think that such a percentage of our society, for the first time in human history, is sitting here arguing about what's a man and what's a woman? And parents finding out that their kids are polymorphous. Wait a minute, you're 9. You're 9. So who gave those phones away? Remember, we had a rating system for movies. What was his name? Anybody know in the chats? All right, Linda, welcome back. You frying stuff up. Jack Valente. Remember him? Jack Valente. He did the rating systems for the movies, Hollywood. PG, PG-13, on up R and X. And networks were held to a high standard with the FCC. You couldn't use certain words. You couldn't show images. You couldn't do. That was all thrown in the trash bale. And our youth was exposed. We're dealing with people who have been psychologically abused. And definitely an amoral culture. An amoral culture. Thank you, Devin. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. He hit the like button on multiple places. So anyway, and I didn't get a screenshot of it, but then you find out that Bill Cosby lost a judgment for $19 million. He's 80 something, 83 or 88, I can't remember. Somewhere in there, from something that happened in 1972. And, Meta gets the $3 million for supposedly a girl's life being destroyed. Okay. But anyway, Katie barred the door. This was government sponsored. Anybody that knows anything about Facebook knows that it started off as life log. And how did, I don't want to make fun of him, Zuckerberg, think about it. He was very, very young. How did he end up with the reins to something like that? LifeLog was started by DARPA, DARPA. Look it up in the CUE posts. DARPA was created and run through China. And they created an app where people would voluntarily put all their personal information in. They ended up with devices that spy on them, listen to them. Some even say read your mind. I don't know. And here we are. Here we are, a deranged sections of our society, deranged, polluted, corrupted, amoral, and now everybody's going to start suing each other. But if they want to blame Zuckerberg, why don't you blame who started LifeLog? Why don't you blame who started DARPA or worked or who created it through DARPA? Why don't you blame who handed it out? Basically, 20 years ago, if somebody was going around handing 10-year-olds dirty magazines, they'd go to jail for a long damn time. Oh, I didn't do that. I gave them access to the internet for education, for free. Called Obama phones, remember? The perversion of our society started with those two, Brock and Mike Shell. So anyway, I did want to get that off my chest. So, before we go on with more videos, so Trump, clandestine, who I concur with in many issues, some I don't. Trump announces that the Democrats have created a, quote, true national crisis, and he is ordering DHS Secretary Mullen to pay TSA agents to address the, quote, emergency situation. Oh, I had that clip of Jimmy Kimmel making fun of Mark Wayne Mullen for being a plumber. I've referred to my plumber intel in the past, and I take great offense to anyone mocking someone involved in the trades. But anyway, the most important part is Trump confirming that he is willing to use the full array of powers as POTUS to protect our great country, as I always will do. He is confirming that he is not going to let the Dems destroy this nation, and he's willing to use emergency powers to do it. I would have said to stop them from destroying our nation. This is what I mean when I say Trump will be forced to use the, quote, executive route. As POTUS, he has the broad unilateral authority to do what is necessary to defend national security and the survival of the republic. In parentheses, Insurrection Act. Like I have been preaching, the decision to save this nation has already been made. Defeat is not an option. There is no turning back. This is warfare. What was on my thumbnail yesterday? We are at war, and Trump is going to win. In many ways, he has already won, and we are just witnessing the public rollout. Yeah, the pill's got to be where people can swallow it. You can't shove a cinder block down their throat. But that meme I used, not meme, that post that was put up by ABC, I believe it was ABC, of the two that ICE got in a deadly situation with. That post was libelous and incendiary, libelous and insightful. And whoever approved of that and put that up should be held to answer for it, either civilly or perhaps criminally. We shall see. Showing Alex Preddy and that other one. So anyway, here's the post he was referring to. The radical left Democrats and their leader, crying Chuck Schumer, have made it very clear where they stand. And that is on the side of criminal illegal aliens and not the American people. And degenerates and perverts, put that in there too. They are refusing to fund immigration enforcement unless the Republicans agree to their open border policies, which will never, ever happen again. They almost destroyed our country by allowing 25 million people to enter from prisons, mental institutions, and insane asylums. Those that are drug dealers and thousands of murderers, many of whom killed more than one person. Because the Democrats have recklessly created a true national crisis, I am using my authorities under the law to protect our great country, as I always will do. Therefore, I am going to sign an order instructing Secretary of Homeland Security Mark Wayne Mullen to immediately pay our TSA agents in order to address this emergency situation. Didn't I say emergency powers are very expansive? People don't realize. I've talked about it, how he had the power to have GM make respirators, 3M to make masks instead of sticky notes. The president can conscript yachts, boats, planes, buildings, businesses, all in an effort to combat a national crisis. So anyway, even songs. You get copyrights. If the White House puts out something with some song on it they think would help the national morale, he could say, you don't have a copyright right now. I'm using your song. Lincoln did it with, what was the song he did it with? Oh my gosh, somebody in the chats help me out. And after his second election win. I'll think of it. So anyway, he said, yeah, we won, and the song is property, and to the winner, to the victor goes the spoils. Yes, Dixie. I wish I was in Dixie, away, away. They played it during his inauguration. So anyway, therefore, I don't know, to quickly, let's see. Okay, and to quickly stop the Democrat chaos at the airports. Did you all see pictures before and after I showed up? Of the crowds? Just because ICE agents showed up, they didn't automatically create a smooth running system. No, our airports have been clogged with people that don't even belong in this damn country. And they ran like hell. So anyway, it is not an easy thing to do, but I am going to do it. I want to thank our hardworking TSA agents and also ICE for the incredible help they have given us at the airports. I will not allow the radical left Democrats to hold our country hostage any longer. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Now, all these powers that I've been talking about, he could exercise. But optics are important and timing is everything. People have to see that he's doing everything in his power to let the system run in the manner in which it was intended. And if it can't, and people suffer, and people are hurting, and people are losing their lives over this defect, then he can use his powers to straighten it out, and the people will understand. Unfortunately, he can't do it as a... he could do it, but it's best not to do it as a preemptive move because the people won't understand. You know, I've had this mystery messaging. Here. Now this was the last one I saw. This was the last one I saw. What is it? What is it? Now, you know, this could be something we're supposed to know what it is, right? I could tell you the ones that they put up temporarily and took down. People weren't supposed to know what it was. What do y'all see? What do you all see? I'm going to take this one down for now. Hi, Bill. How you doing? Mac, how you doing? Just like when they were showing pictures of the traffic in LA. When we started these deportations. We've got over 700,000 forcibly deported. How many have left self-deported? We're talking millions of people. And it's going to keep on going. I'll show you that in a little bit. What do you all see? I explained the other comms, and I'm sure there have been more, that Frank on the NPC show put up last night. One was taken down, but he had uploaded it, and they were mysterious. And if you think about what Trump was saying about the Iranian negotiator, my words, not his. Mainstream media and Russian news words, not his. The Iranian negotiator. He said, we have to keep them alive. And they can't talk in conventional ways. They don't have phones that work. And how can they be sure any messages they're getting are the real deal? How can they get messages that will be kept private, classified, confidential? We had one big alleged leaker, right? Leaky Joe Kent. Miss Mendersu says she sees a lot of pixels, that's all. Devin says, I see the power tie. Let me see, I had a different one that I kind of piddled with a little bit, because if you just got a little, this, like I said, could be a throwaway. Could be a throwaway. If they didn't want you to figure it out, you wouldn't figure it out. I'll put it that way. Where's the other one I had? Oh, I must not have uploaded it. Here it is. Let's see. Can you make this one out even better? See it? What do y'all see? Is it starting to zero in? You know, they can tell when you take a screenshot. If somebody was trying to decode this stuff, they can tell. What platform are they putting these messages on? X. If somebody tries to apply any kind of software to an image or to a video, they'll know. Do you know that on Instagram, they can stop you from taking a screenshot of your own phone screen? I've already showed you all how they can get into your phone and remove things. Even if you text it to somebody else, it'll be a thread connected to that, and it'll disappear out of whoever's phone you texted it to. Whatever site you posted it on. I've shown you how they can go in and corrupt your files. I told you about how I sat and watched in real time my own phone disintegrate itself electronically and just turn into a lump of plastic in my hand. Didn't melt or anything. I'm talking about all the internals wiped out. They can do it. And they can find out where you are. So, if there's no if to it. They are having communications with the Iranian negotiator and his people. They had to do it to arrange the tanker deal that we just were told about, which we knew about ahead of time, but we know now. What's the most secure way you can send it? What is the way there's no doubt of verification who it came from? Is the official White House X account. And like I said, this could serve multiple purposes. Get a message to the people that you need to get a message to avert war or to steer the situation to where you want it to be in negotiations. And also, you can track and find out who's trying to be involved. Are there people in C.I.A. trying to decode these things? They'll find out. If anybody spills the beans on what's going on here, that's called a leaker. They'll find out who it is. But anyway, what I see, I'm looking at the chats. Hyperborean wolf spirit. Well, that's a name there. I'll just call you Hyper. Welcome aboard, Hyper. Said it's the hidden Antichrist. Yeah. Let's see. If anybody else, Devin says you can tell it's T. Mr. T sitting at his desk is what I see, and he's holding something up. And you know what? They could put real comms out, real comms that need to be seen, like the movie strip that disappeared. The person saying, when's it going to launch? Disappeared off X on the official White House account. But then they could put up something like this and see who's trying to get into it, who's trying to unscramble it, who's trying to uncode it, and they might see a picture of Mr. T giving the finger and go, I caught you. But I don't believe it's Mr. T giving the finger. He is displaying something, holding something up in front of him. See it now? See, when you shrink it down, you see his outline. Whoa, come on now, straighten out. Why does this? There we go. Let's see. There, let's shrink it down. See, now you're starting to see his eyes, his hand on top of whatever that is. This is a very, very simple thing. Somebody with some software. And if you look, when I told you I had a jealous eye, floats off to the left. when I look at it a certain way with my jealous eye, I can see more things in there. But anyway. I'm just looking through the chats, see if I missed anything. But anyway, that is how they are having communications, among other ways. And plus, they're uncovering a lot of people, nosy people that shouldn't be nosy. Anyway, here's another video of Mr. T. Let's see what this one is. These are short clips. But, like I said, he doesn't say things not for nothing.
Let it happen. We're not going to let the Democrats get away with this stuff, and people are wise to them, so they need to end the shutdown immediately, or we'll have to take some very drastic measures. This morning, I want to give an update on the...
There you go. That clip, I think, is important because I didn't use exactly drastic measures, but that's what he said. If the Democrats don't straighten out, we're going to take some drastic measures. We can't let this country go to hell in the handbag with a bunch of purple-haired freaks running the show. Not going to happen. As per Iranian government requests, please let this statement serve to represent that I am pausing the period of energy plant destruction by 10 days to Monday, April 6, 2026 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is extremely concise. Talks are ongoing, and despite erroneous statements made to the contrary by the fake news media and others, they are going very well. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So they all were doubting Trump about his present, that he got a gift. They were all repeating Iranian, not the negotiator, whoever is against the negotiator was putting out a bunch of garbage. And that's who the mainstream media was quoting and sticking up for. And turned out, now Pakistan even put out a statement and corroborated what Trump said about the oil tankers, 10 of them, 200 million apiece. Okay, what is that, 2 billion? Anyway, here's Carolyn Levitt talking to some fake news media.
Regime change in Iran because the regime has changed in terms of...
I mean, has it not?
Well, the leadership...
Their entire leadership has been killed, and nobody has really seen or legitimately heard from this alleged new leader. So wouldn't you say there's been a change in the regime?
There's been a change in leadership. I mean, do you feel as though...
There's been a change in the regime leadership, which is what the president said. So thank you for confirming he was right.
I mean, do you feel as though you've achieved leadership level or the personnel in place right now in Iran that you're satisfied with? I mean, have you...
I think it's too soon to say.
In terms of highly enriched...
Yeah, he's trying to, what is he, playing dumb? We have a level of leadership we're satisfied with? Have they quit bombing their neighbors? Have they quit launching ballistic missiles? Have they quit executing their people in the streets? Stupid question. Boy, she can barely hide her disdain, and I can't blame her. Here's Donald Trump again. That'd make a good picture for a thumbnail. I don't know. Maybe in the future. We shall see.
Negotiate. They are begging to make a deal. We'll see if we can make the right deal. And if they make the right deal, then the strait will open up. Hormuz Strait will open up. And even now, we don't know if there are any mines. You know, they have 22 they call mine droppers. Think of it. Who would have 22 mine droppers?
Well, he's got one where he said, no, nobody wants to be a leader. Who would want to be a leader there? Hang on, here's another one. This one, let me see. I copied so many videos, I'm not sure. I don't want them to be redundant, but if they are, this is Doug Burgum. I'm sorry. Doug Burgum said Venezuela will build a statue in honor of President Trump. They view President Trump like a Simon Bolivar. He is the liberator of the country. And this is a country where they love American baseball. But anyway, I'll play it. Doug Burgum spoke up a couple of times. I got it wrong about that young lady in Spain. That wasn't her sister. That was her. And, I didn't watch the video before I played it because it upset me so much of euthanizing a person. And I know what kind of commies the Spanish are. I've talked about that for years. But anyway, here we go.
Well, back on Venezuela, where Chris and I have both had a chance to be there, I literally think they're going to put up a statue to President Trump. And I'm not it's not a political statement. It's an actual thing.
So. That would be a great honor.
No, because it's like they view President Trump like Simon Bolivar. He's the liberator of a country, and this is a country where they love American baseball. You look on the street, they're wearing NBA jerseys, and Delcy and her team working with us, getting back. Chris and I both experienced. It was the first time in Venezuelan history that they had the free press allowed to come on to essentially where the White House, the Palacio Miraflores, and it was an emotional thing for people that had been for 20 years had never had a chance to be there. So whether it's and then production, it's showing up in production. The American companies that are coming back, most of those American companies have many American Venezuelan team members. One company in Houston's got 600 Venezuelan Americans that know more about reviving that industry. So their GDP is 1/4 of what it was before. They want to get back. They remember what it was. Their production on oil production is climbing towards 50% increase just in the 3 months we've been here. That flows to American refineries on the Gulf Coast, lowering the price of gas in America. So
forget that. When are they going to do the statue?
Where are they going to put the statue? But anyway, did you all get to see? Did you all get to see Trump on Fox News, Fox and Friends? He gets on Fox and Friends now. He's not totally sold on them. But better than CNN. Here's something for your meta. I don't think it's going to get Mark Zuckerberg sued if you put this up. But, this is the way they portray everybody. Hi, Benjamin. How are you? Nice to see you. So anyway, that's a good one for your meta. Let me see. Let me put this one up from DJT. Like I said, he doesn't post these things not for nothing. Now, this was something I could have put up yesterday, where these dopey judges are attempting to make the Trump administration keep sending billions of dollars to these sham organizations. And Trump said, we're asking for expedited judicial review because they are robbing our country blind. Centers that don't exist are being paid tremendous amounts of money. These damn judges need to be looked at hard by a very special prosecutor. And yet we have court orders not letting us proceed. They are being protected by our unbelievably corrupt and out of control court system. Billions of dollars being handed over to crooks, and the courts won't let us do anything about it. Again, expedite Donald J. Trump. And I wouldn't be surprised if he'd put up there, or drastic measures will be taken. I had a dopey notification on my phone. Judges
are very concerned that what Donald Trump is saying could put them in jeopardy. What, we're supposed to let you just let this country get pickpocketed and looted, and we're supposed to sit with a you-know-what eating grin on our face? You're crazy. Speaking of crazy, here, Libs of TikTok put this up. Look at that. How I want it to happen. Look at those eyes. How'd you like to be married to that? Meet Kathy DeFilippo, Kylie. Oh boy. How many names with one of them with a hyphen? She's an administrator at Huron Superior Catholic Schools in Ontario, Canada. She fantasizes about Trump getting assassinated publicly and says she will be cheering. You can contact the school here. Well, somebody already did. A lot of people did. And here you go. You know, I have to say, maybe she can sue these platforms, okay, for victimizing her psychologically, starting off with scaring everybody about the illness. Remember that? She's been fired, okay? All I can really say is that I truly feel terrible about everything. I deeply regret what I said, and I meant no harm. Excuse me, no harm or threat to anybody. Well, I'll play it for you, and you tell me what you think. And yeah, Devin, she lost her job. It's a shame. It's terrible. It's sad. Remember what I was talking about where like Matt Taibbi, where they look normal when they get over their TDS, they look like they're healthier, younger, that they're living their life better. How I played a video of a young lady who said, I quit hating Trump and I want our country to succeed and I feel great now. These people are being driven into madness. She goes on to say that is not who I am. And people who know me know it's not that I'm not a hateful or violent person, said Filippo Kylie in a statement to sue today. Yeah, well, sue. We'll see who's going to get sued. I certainly would not want to incite violence. We have enough of that in the world. I sincerely and wholeheartedly apologize to everyone that offended or upset. I'm reading it all because I'm going to let her defend herself. To whatever extent I can. I let the influence of social media get the better of me. And honestly, I became obsessed with it for the past year. It wasn't good for my mental health. Libs, if you're out there, God bless you. Are you paying attention? I upset a lot of people. And for that, I am deeply remorseful. Said to Filippo Kylie or whatever. I hope someday people will be able to find it in their hearts to forgive me. Well, you got to live with the consequence. You're an adult. But can you imagine people that aren't adults and they don't have fully formed brains? They're the ones going out in the streets screaming and yelling, putting themselves in dangerous positions. But anyway, here she is.
I know we're all waiting for it to happen, but here's what I want to see occur when it happens. With our luck, it's probably going to be that it's going to happen in the middle of the night, and we're not going to know until the morning. But on one of my previous posts, I said, if that happens and you're awake and you're aware of it, please make sure you wake me up. Okay, so here's how I would love to see it happen. I don't think that this should be a health event. That's not tragic enough. I think it should be an infliction like he has done to others in the United States and around the world. From a distance, publicly, while maybe he's on stage at a rally or a press conference or whatever the case may be, something, don't care, publicly, and televised.
You let Satan smoke in your heart, woman. You let Satan's smoke come into your soul. And it's up to you to get it out. Like Padre Pio said, go clean your filthy soul. And hopefully you will. Hopefully you will. Maybe it's the first step to where you'll live a better life. Oh, I wanted to play this after that truth from Trump about the judges making us keep shelling out money to criminals.
This is American tax dollars are being cycled through USAID, going to Ukraine, and then being given to what, NGOs, and then being given back, being paid back to people like, like
to
Joe Wilson and Don Bacon?
Correct. For their personal benefits. It's a serious accusation, but evil never work for free, for idea. Evil work for money. Money is involved, and we have a solid proof that my accusation is backed by paper trail of money. This is even worse for them because I'm not limited to the media. I can do my investigation for years, and when I call in I believe, that means I have a practically paper trail of money coming into the pockets from the US aid to Ukraine, from Ukraine and between entities, and after that into these pockets of these people.
Slava Ukraine. That's a quote from Nancy Pelosi. I played it many times, and I'll play it many more times. But what was this in reference to? It's even being put out on Russian media, another truth by Trump. Where is it? Where is it? Because we're closing in. Barack Hussein Obama's being mentioned more often. This Ukrainian money is being mentioned more often. And it's being repeated around the world. That money was being funneled back to the Biden campaign from Ukraine. American taxpayer money. Whoops. Here, Donald Trump put this up. And I got a Telegram post where Russian media put up another one. Breaking, plot to launder. This was posted by Donald J. Trump. Hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayers' dollars, through Biden's campaign is revealed. And in my corrupted files, I had the audio tape of him telling Poroshenko, the former president of Ukraine, to hurry up and get another loan for Privat Bank to hide things from Trump before he comes in office and is sophisticated enough to find out what's going on. And he told Poroshenko, for your own personal safety. How many of you remember me playing that audio tape? Please put a thumbs up if you remember me playing that several times. It is now in corrupted files land. A newly classified intelligence summary alleges a stunning plan to divert hundreds of millions in U.S. taxpayer funds meant for Ukraine in Democrat political coffers. For your own personal safety, out of Joe Biden's own mouth, he threatened him. You better cover it up. I tell you what, you guys really would get a kick out of paying attention to Lives of TikTok. Look at this guy. Who's that? Who's that? It's Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas. Says he's accidentally gone into the women's restrooms and defends the idea of, quote, all gender bathrooms. This comes after a man was arrested for recording a woman inside all-gender restrooms in his city's airport. There he is. And what do you think his name is? Where do you think he's from? They won't tell you, though. I don't know. He looks kind of Irish. Maybe he's Irish. I don't know. But I doubt it. Here. Lives at TikTok. Who's this? Who's this up-and-coming rocket scientist or medical professional? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Oluwasegun Sani. A 19-year-old Nigerian national attending Mount St. Charles is allegedly and then aping a 15-year-old student on canvas. Democrat hero. There you go. There you go. You know, and the expense, in order to get some kind of justice, we got to pay for him to be in prison and then deport him. You know, what's the thing to do here? I'm gonna blow it. Let me blow his face up. Pow! But anyway, I did that pow because I'm already over an hour and 10 minutes. Make sure y'all give me a thumbs up. And I want to thank everybody who's been to buy me a coffee. Once again, I have forgotten to, I want to do like at the beginning, middle, and the broadcast, like everybody else on Utizzle, but I don't because I forget. I want to thank everybody for going by Buy Me a Coffee and helping the channel out this week. And Colette, I want to thank you. And I want to thank Tammy from Younger Gang, Wayne, Mike, and Beth. And as always, Miss Mindersu took care of herself for quite a while. So I want to give some booms out to everybody that helped out with Buy Me a Coffee. And I put a link, kapow, kapow. What's his name again? Koswami, or I don't know, kapow. Gotta keep on. Wait a minute, I'll really get him now. I put a link in the description at the pow, 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 at the 1 hour, 11-minute mark for Buy Me a Coffee. Did it show up in the chats? It's in the chats, not description. Kapow, kapow. But anyway, we got to get them out of this country one way, pow, or the other. One way or another, pow. There we go, right on the chin. So there, Coles. Yeah, we better wake the hell. Hi, Brush, how you doing? Yeah, there's my link. Yep. Yeah, it showed up in the description. So anyway, what's the next one? Oh, here we go. I got my plumber intel. It's down there in this territory, in the stadium. Of course, his identity is secret and it will remain so. But watch Democrat Governor Wes Moore get booed by attendees at the Orioles home opener game. You jerk. Let me see if I got that video. You know, if you could sue Meta, what about all these people that are suffering because of politicians doing this? I mean, actually being criminally negligent and causing people to lose their lives. Can you keep your sovereign immunity when you're criminally negligent? I don't think so. I don't think you can. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Here we go. What's this one? Hi, Senator Blumenthal. Can we get an update on this post? This lives to TikTok again. ICE agents at airports will only aggravate delays and lines, disrupting checks, interrogating travelers, dragging parents from children, detaining citizens, brutalizing families, shooting, and even KILLing. See, it's that kind of trash coming out of his mouth right now is what contributed to that woman destroying, having to rebuild her life and find a job and being socially stigmatized for the filth coming out of her mouth about Trump. But you have people in positions of trust and authority, high level trust and authority, spewing out this garbage. Breaking: an ICE agent saved an infant's life after the baby stopped breathing. Oh, Democrat Delilah Ramirez lays out the Democrats' plan if they regain power. They will melt ICE. We will dismantle the Department of Homeland Security. May we get vote? We will get voter ID, and these people are going to be finished. Is this the video where the ICE agent steps in? Let me see. I think it is. She's got her kid in her arms there, and the kid's choking. It's kind of hard to see what's going on, though. Yeah, that post right away. She tried to run away with the kid from the agent. Turned out, I guess he was an EMT or knew instinctively what to do. So anyway, yeah, and Blumenthal saying that all these horrible things ICE agents are going to do. The lines got cleared out because people that shouldn't be in this country left. Okay, and people were cheering ICE agents, applauding them, thanking them. And like the memes I've seen, the only ones worried about ICE at airports are people that don't belong in this country. So there he is. He took care of it. She walked away with the kid. You figure she'd thank him a little bit. But she might, I don't know, she might suffer from this very famous illness we're all talking about. Here's something else from Libs of TikTok. Flyers promoting Transgender Day of Visibility spotted at Norton schools in Massachusetts. They support the genital mutilation of children. Disgusting, that's a word I'm not allowed to say on YouTube. Why? Why can't I say it? MERS. Why can't I say it? There's no such thing as a trans kid. Parents beware. Here they are. Whoever put this out should be fired and investigated, okay? For lewd and lascivious conduct with children. Just like whoever changed this logo for a sports team. Let me find it. Oh, I might not put it up. Oh, here it is. This is the Nashville Predators. Changed their logo to be transgender in Tennessee. Whoever did that should be fired because you don't sexualize children's activities in school. What else could you say about it? Of course it's sexualizing things. So I heard it was temporary. Maybe somebody forced them to take it down. I don't know. They should. Here's Donald Trump again. Let's see. I go through my scrolling, and I thought, oh, there's a video. Oh, there's no. So let's see what he's talking about here.
And only a total fool. And they're not fools. They're very smart, actually, in a certain way. And they're great negotiators. I say they're lousy fighters, but they're great negotiators. They are begging to work out a deal. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. I don't know if we're willing to do that. They should have done that 4 weeks ago. They should have done it 2 years ago. Or they should have done it when we first came into office, because 2 years ago they had free reign under Biden. Sleepy Joe, worst president in the history of our country. What he allowed to happen to our country at the borders, and even with a thing like this. But not just him. Every president for 47 years, every president should have done this. They should have done it a long time ago, because you cannot give lunatics a nuclear weapon, and they would have had a big one. It stopped, really, when we did the B-2, but even before that, the Barack Hussein Obama, what he did where he gave them the Iran nuclear deal, gave them free will toward a nuclear weapon. Basically, he chose Iran over Israel and others that didn't want him to do it. But I terminated that deal. Had I not terminated that deal, you would have had a
nuclear weapon. And who did he bring up again? Barack Hussein Obama. He said he chose Iran over Israel and other nations. Which other nations do you think? Well, there's multiple nations, but I think the main one is the United States. Okay, Trump's bracing people for what has to happen. We had a Muslim Brotherhood communist installed in the presidency. Here's another one from Donald J. Trump. And that's what it's all about, folks. MB, Muslim Brotherhood. Same suit, different bow ties, communism and Marxism.
This was a test for NATO. This was a test. You can help us. You don't have to, but if you don't have, if you don't do that, we're going to remember. Just remember this in a number of months from now. Remember my statements. They have an expression, a great expression. Never forget. You can never forget.
Yeah, that's letting NATO go. NATO know that they're going to be on their own. We've had enough. Enough is enough. They didn't come to our aid. They didn't help us. Just like Trump said they would not. Here's a creep. Who's this creep? Y'all remember? Yeah, Devin, I was... my videos are usually at least an hour and a half to almost 2 hours. But anyway, I used to shoot for an hour. But anyway, so who's this creep? Stinkfinger, Don Lemon, doing his man on the street interviews because he's a journalist. Oh, you're charged with some crimes, aren't you, you weirdo?
How do you feel about the war?
I'm Persian, so I support Donald Trump 100%. The Islamic regime kills women. They killed 50,000 people in 2 days. A lot of them believe death in all of Americans. So I fully 100% support Donald Trump.
So you said you're Persian, but there's no imminent threat to the United States, and most people here
I'm biased,
are not.
Right? I'm obviously biased because I'm Persian. And I understand why people wouldn't want war to happen. I understand that fully.
I don't know if you're biased, you just have your opinion. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. My dad grew up in Iran. He had to flee the country when he was 14. Again, fully support Donald Trump with the bombing of the supreme leader.
But do you understand how Americans feel that this had nothing to do with us? We're not.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
There's no imminent threat.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Again, I'm Persian, so when I see women are because they're not wearing the scarf over their head, I have a connection to that. I mean, it's not right. But I do see what you're saying about America not having anything to do with Iran's problem, but stand with Trump.
Yeah, what are you going to say about that, Don Lemon? They weren't an immediate threat. How much of a threat you want to be, you dumbass? They're a clear and present danger. They were. They still are to some degree. So somebody mentioned Nigeria earlier in the broadcast, but this is Uganda. How many times have I said it? Pariah state. Let me get that LGBTQ crap off the screen. Pariah state. Even Adolf had a few friends. You know who I'm talking about? Adolf. Even Adolf had a few friends. Uganda is entering the war against Iran on this side of Israel. Any talk of destroying or defeating Israel will drag us into war. If Israel needs help, all it has to do is ask. His Ugandan brothers are ready to help. Chief of the Ugandan Defense Forces, I can't pronounce his name, but you see it on the screen there. Might be Irish. I don't know. So, yeah. Pariah nation. Oh, speaking of the net widening, Donald J. Trump put this up. New York Attorney General Letitia James referred again for criminal prosecution for homeowner insurance fraud. There you go, Letitia. Who's paying her legal bills? Uganda has weapons. I think Donald Trump makes sure Uganda has weapons. Don't forget. Remember I put it up a year ago about Uganda? What happened in Uganda? They found something. What did they find? I'll give you all a minute to think about it. Did you notice those nice new uniforms on the soldiers? Brand new weapons? They found something. What did they find? But anyway, the lawfare net is widening. We're fighting fire with fire. What happened with... Oh, this is the other post Trump put up. What did Uganda find? U.S., there we go, intercepted Ukraine government messages. U.S. intercepted Ukraine government messages discussing plot to route money to Biden re-election. Newly unclassified documents show that in 2022, Ukrainian officials discussed diverting hundreds of millions of U.S. tax dollars earmarked for clean energy back to Biden's ill-fated 2024 campaign. Nobody remembers what Uganda found? I'm going to put up a funny story next. This is weird. I've heard about people having a roofer come do their job and then calling ICE on them, having them arrested so they didn't have to pay for the roof. But this is a different type of story. A woman in Cambridge, Maryland is going viral after hiring a roofing company she knew employed illegals, only to call ICE after the job was completed. Yeah, I thought they were just getting started, with agents arriving on scene and arresting 6 Guatemalan illegals working on the crew. I don't think that helped her get the roof for free. I don't know. I'll let you watch the video while you cogitate. What did they find in Uganda? I see Sissy guessed minerals. Felix said gold. How much was what they found worth? How much was what they found worth? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play this video.
Nos cayó la pinche ley, valió madre. Nos rodearon.
The roof's not finished. It's far from finished.
Estoy en todo el derecho de grabar, no estoy haciendo nada malo también. O sea, yo estoy cooperando, puedo cooperar con usted, no hay problema.
¿Estás grabando en este momento?
Estoy grabando, sí.
Ok. ¿Y se lo puede por qué?
No, está bien. La verdad que yo estoy aquí, no estoy haciendo nada malo también. Triste lo que está pasando hoy aquí. Estamos empezando un trabajo y cayó migración. La verdad que perjudicando a la gente trabajadora, a la gente que hace bien al país. Qué hijo de puta decepción, la verdad. Triste lo que hacen, en vez de andar buscando a la gente criminal en las calles, a los drogaditos.
I think this guy doing the filming is on her side. Maybe might be her boyfriend or something. I don't know.
Es la misma mujer. Arreglándole la casa y todavía con el odio en el corazón.
Go! Get out of here!
God bless America, bro! Bueno, los planes de Dios son estos y qué puede hacer uno. Ya venir a arreglarle la casa a esta señora y que ella misma sea la que nos eche para atrás. Es triste, pero a la vez todo tiene su propósito.
Maybe they put out a reward for him, got a reward or something. Or they got it done to the point where the guy said, I can finish it off, honey. Go ahead and call him up. Get our reward. Cole can't wait. Oh, he can't. If you can't wait for Mountain Man, my word. Billions, Sissy said. No, put a T on there. Trillions. They found $30 trillion estimated on a gold deposit. A gold deposit. And then we didn't hear very much about it after that. But you can believe that Donald Trump is helping them with wealth management. Wealth management. Here we are. NATO nations have done absolutely nothing to help with the lunatic nation, now militarily decimated, of Iran. But the U.S. needs nothing from NATO. But, quote, never forget, unquote, this very important point in time. President Donald J. Trump, he's going to tell them to go somewhere. Okay? And just about all Africa can tell them to go somewhere. If they make friends with Uganda, they can tell Europe to go somewhere. And you know what I mean by somewhere. Chuck Schumer, a desperate, crippled politician who has lost control of the radical left Democrats, will make a deal now because he thinks that if he doesn't, Republicans will terminate the filibuster, something which they should do whether he makes a deal or not. I concur 1,000%. When enough is enough for our Republican senators, when is enough enough? There comes a time when you must do what must be done. Do what should have been done a long time ago. And something which the lunatics Democrats will do on day one, if they ever get the chance. Terminate the filibuster and get our airports and everything else moving again. Also, add to complete all 5 items, Save America Act items. Go for the gold. President Donald J. Trump. That's what I should have put in my title. Go for the gold. The Iranian negotiators are very different and strange. They are begging us to make a deal, which they should be doing since they have been militarily obliterated with zero chance of a comeback. And yet they publicly state that they are only looking at our proposal. Wrong. they better get serious soon before it's too late, because once that happens, there's no turning back, and it won't be pretty. President Donald J. Trump, and he said that. He said that in his cabinet meeting. He may have said it on his Fox News interviews. I don't know. Let's see. Let's play some videos from Donald J. Trump news. I'll play them back to back. Because let me tell you something. Everybody who's anybody is listening to every word he says, every time he speaks, and every time he posts on Truth Social.
If you don't wear certain cloth all over your face, you have no chance of living. And, you know, when I look at gays for Palestine, but they kill gays. They kill them instantly. They throw them off buildings. And I'm saying, who are the gays for Palestine? And they have a significant amount of gays for Palestine. Now, I think when, you know, I did very well with the gay vote, okay? I even played the gay national anthem as my walk-off, okay, for my campaign. And I think it probably helped me, but I did great with no Republicans ever gotten the gay vote like I did, and I'm very proud of it. I think it's great. Perhaps it's because I'm from New York City. I don't know, but the gay national anthem was my walk-off, and I think it probably had. But think of it, gays for Palestine.
Yeah, he addresses this in another clip too. What do you think? Is he talking about YMCA? YMCA as being the gay national anthem? It might be. But anyway, here we go. Yeah, because, the Village People, they were kind of,
Did the CIA tell you that Ayatollah Jr.'s gay?
Well, they did say that, but I don't know if it was only them. I think a lot of people are saying that, which puts them off to a bad start in that particular country. You know, I sort of have to smile to myself when I say I see people trying to defend the Palestinian regime for women for Palestine, but they kill women if you don't wear a certain if you don't wear certain cloth all over your face, you have no chance of living. And, you know, when I look...
Yeah, that's the one that overlapped. Yeah, talking about the Ayatollah's son being having a little bit of sugar in his gas tank, as we used to say. Part of the Cupcake Brigade. But anyway, here's another one. I guess it was YMCA, yeah. Devin, yeah. But anyway, all right, here we go. Here's another clip.
Of a certain country. There are not a lot of takers to be the head of Iran right now. I will tell you, they're all fighting not to. We don't want that position. But they asked me if they would, Kaylee, importantly, they said to me, very nicely, through my people, could we have more time? Because we're talking about tomorrow night, which is pretty quick. And if they don't do what they have to do, I will knock out their power plants. So he said, does that include nuclear? Because they have nuclear, you know, plenty of money. They have a lot of money, and they built nuclear and they built regular power plants, but they're massive and very expensive, billions of dollars. And so I gave them a 10-day period. They asked for 7. You're going to say, oh, Trump's a terrible negotiator. They asked for 7, and I said, I'm going to give you 10. Because they gave me ships. We talked about the 8 ships, you know, the president that I talked about the other day. But they asked for 7, and I gave them 10. You got 10 days, and they were very thankful about that. Now, they may say, oh, we're not speaking. I don't like that, because that wasn't true the last time, as you found out.
Yeah, when they going to start telling the truth. But they have to, you know, if they're going to get knocked off, they got to solidate their position before they speak out. Here we go with another clip. I got to get myself untongue-tied.
They then named another one. We knocked them out, and we knocked out part of the third group. And we're just holding for the rest. We know where they all are. And it's one country that does not want to be. You have very few people want to be the leader. You know, everyone wants to be president of the United States. Everyone wants to be president or whatever, prime minister of a certain country. There are not a lot of takers to be the head of Iran right now. I will tell you, they're all fighting not to. We don't want that position. But they asked me if they would, Kaylee, importantly, they said to me, very nicely, through my people, could we have more time? Because we're talking about tomorrow night, which is
pretty close, pretty close. So they got 10 more days, very specific, right down to the hour. Let me see if I got any more. Oh, it seems to be most of Donald Trump's. Here he was at a Greek. He's everywhere. I mean, he's got energy on top of energy. And you see I guess that's Greek Orthodox priest over there. Look at everybody got their phones up, man. Just an ocean of phones taking a picture of Donald J. Trump. I bet it's so thrilling for people to go meet him in person.
Well, thank you very much. This is a great honor. I wouldn't miss it. I'm supposed to be someplace at 5 o'clock, and I said, there's no way I'm missing this one. Nobody would have the courage to do that. But I'm delighted to stand before you today with a truly respected man of faith and a pillar of the Greek-American community, Archbishop Eli Pido.
But anyway, the press doesn't cover any of that stuff. They don't cover anything. What is this letter here? Yeah, I put up a picture of the YMCA at Gitmo. Where did I see that? Sissy, no, it's not up tomorrow because he extended it by 10 days. And yeah, Sissy, I put a picture up of the YMCA at Gitmo. It's been there since at least the 60s, maybe even the 50s. I don't know. But here's a letter. What is this? Trump's signature to appear on U.S. currency. Remember that gold coin I put up on my thumbnail where Trump... There's a guy in Portland suing to stop the commemorative coin with Trump on the commemorative coin. The comments were off on the Fox News, I think it was Fox News, I'm not sure, of him saying, it's very clear the statute says a living president cannot be put on a coin. So I'm going to win. I believe I'm going to win. He's some retired lawyer up in Portland. Well, bonehead, have you thought about the fact that it is a collectible item? It's a commemorative piece. Its value will be determined by its historical significance and its weight. It's not incorporated as part of our legal tender, like a $10 bill is worth $10 and a $20 bill is worth $20. It falls into the realm of commemorative and collectible. Did you factor that in, galactic brain lawyer? So I hope you waste a lot of time and a lot of personal wealth, because people like you that contribute to what Trump is trying to stop. Here's an example of what Trump has been trying to stop. New York Post put this up. An 83-year-old veteran randomly shoved on the New York subway tracks, dies from injuries. Illegal migrant charged with murder. There he is. And there's the old fella. Take time to dress nice, go out in public, 84 years old, and this scum that shouldn't even be in this country shoved him off that platform. So, yeah, Mr. Lawyer from Portland, sue to stop President Trump from being on the coins. you'll be on the ash heap of history like the rest of the lefty lunatics. Elon Musk reposted this. When they ask me what radicalized you, I'm showing them this. That's what the left stands for. That's what they promote. That's who they protect. Here's a video. Give you an idea what these drones are doing and the level of rockets they have. This is Hezbollah shooting a rocket into Jerusalem. I'm not discounting it. It's lethal. It's dangerous. But when they say a rocket hit somewhere, all you can do is hope that, people aren't standing there. If you get a direct hit on something, there you see when those oversized bottle rockets they send over. So when they brag about how many actually struck in Israel, yeah, it's bad, it's dangerous. But you see, it's, the press would like you to think that half the city's gone or, a whole apartment building fell down. You see where it pierced the roof of that vehicle and tossed it up in the air. And if somebody was in there, they would, probably lose their lives or maybe survive. But so don't let them get you thinking it's worse than it is. Here we go. The U.S. will launch an operation against Iran. This is from Ruski News. The decision has been made, according to the American press. Iran has already mobilized around 1 million people preparing for war. Judging by the constant escalations, some Middle Eastern countries will side with the USA. More than Middle Eastern, you just saw Uganda and Pakistan. Who else is going to jump up and be against that pariah nation? The Pentagon is preparing for a crushing final strike. This is Ruski News repeating the same stuff that Telegram, Crux, CNN, all the rest of them are crushing final strike, final blow. Nobody said that, but it's going to hurt. According to sources, 4 options are being considered. Probably all of them. Invasion or blockade of Karg Island, the main center of Iranian oil exports. Invasion of Larak Island, which helps Iran strengthen control over the Strait of Hormuz. There are bunkers, attack boats, and radar monitoring movement in the strait. Well, we'll see how long they exist. Seizure of the strategic island of Abu Musa and 2 smaller islands located near the western entrance to the strait, which are controlled by Iran, but are also claimed by the UAE. And by the way, Iran threatened to invade United Arab Emirates. So we're talking about how many islands in total right now? 3, 4, 5 islands. 5 islands. Larak, Abu Masa, 2 others make 4, and then Karg, the main island. So we got 5 islands. Blocking or seizing ships exporting Iranian oil from the eastern side of the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, fine with me. But wait a minute. They're giving it to Donald J. Trump. Those are Trump's tankers, thank you very much. If they don't give it to us, we'll just seize it. How about that? You want another night walking this earth? You want another morning to wake up? That's going to cost you 2 tankers. The Pentagon has also developed plans for ground operations in Iran to seize facilities with highly enriched uranium. Yeah, I don't see how we're going to allow them to keep that uranium hidden. We're not going to allow it. Oil is $200 a barrel. Oil at $200 a barrel is the future that Trump's administration is preparing him for, says Bloomberg. I call BS, Bloomberg. I don't think Scott Bessent or anybody else is preparing Trump for $200 barrel oil. He's being warned. Who says? Somebody like Leaky Joe Kent to demoralize the American people? He's being warned that even a price of $170 a barrel would be a serious blow to the global economy, while $200 would lead to massive consequences. Well, you watch when we start cranking out our oil. He'll drive it down to $40 a barrel. The main reason that might be his Trump card, where he just put them all out of business. The main reason cited is the war in the Middle East, which led Iran to close the Strait of Hormuz. This is where a significant portion of the world's energy supplies were routed. 20% is the estimate. $20% is the estimate. We can get pipelines. We can do alternate shipping. We got a northern route around Greenland. Former head. Oh, let's see. Who's this? Former head of British intelligence service MI6, Alex Younger. Let me ask you, Alex, did you have anything to do with the Steele dossier? Did you know Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's daughter or father? Did you know Robert Maxwell? Did you know about the Steele dossier? Stated that Iran has the advantage in the war against the United States. In whose dreams? And why would you say that? Because you know it's coming, all right, Alex? Iran has deployed additional army units on Karg Island in the Persian Gulf in anticipation of an American invasion. Yeah, they posted a picture. This guy here posted this. You could just see the propeller on a drone sitting there, and his AK-47 and with the taped up clips ready to roll. A fool posting on the internet. One of the Iranian soldiers on Karg Island in the Persian Gulf posted a photo of his automatic weapon and the FPV drones, which he will use to repel an American landing force. Yeah. Well, I don't care how many put on there, because I heard the discombobulator can discombobulate whoever's standing in its range, whether it's one person, 10 people, 100 people, or 2,000 people. And discombobulation is very uncomfortable. So have fun with your little toy there. What's this one? The American press reports on how Trump is being briefed on the Middle East war. The U.S. war in the Middle East. This is how the Russians are saying the American press is reporting on Trump. The Pentagon shows him a 2-minute montage of successful U.S. strikes on Iran every day, mostly explosions and victories. From this, in fact, he gets the overall picture. So yeah, Trump is so stupid. You just show him pictures of stuff blowing up, and he sits there and goes, oh, goody, oh, goody. I think he's a little smarter than that. The Iranian armed forces claim to have destroyed all U.S. bases in the Middle East and are calling on residents of other countries to report the hiding places of military personnel who have escaped from the bases. So that is, whoever that is on the other side as far as loyalties go of the Iranian negotiator, whoever that may be. And if he can live long enough. Here. A ground operation is planned. Who put that up? Alex Ward. At least 3 congressional Republicans, including chairs of House and Senate Armed Committee, are hinting strongly that a ground operation in Iran is planned and could potentially be underway soon. The Wall Street Journal reporter, Alex Ward. It should be noted that the most anticipated option is the landing of Americans on the island of Karg. So we shall see. Well, we got a lot of stuff to go through, and tomorrow is, as they say, another day. You know what? I was able to find a pretty girl. A pretty girl. So instead of these wide-eyed, lunatic-eyed weirdos that are losing their minds on a daily basis, I'm going to end my broadcast with a pretty girl. And I am once again going to put in the chats whatever time it is, what time it is. Don't you know what time it is, Mountain Man? I know it's 1:55 in the broadcast, or 1:56. I put a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. And I appreciate everybody that helped out. Kapow, kaboom, kaboom, kapow. Everybody that helped out with Buy Me a Coffee this week. I do appreciate it. And if you want to click on the link, and this is a totally viewer-supported channel. I'm not monetized on Judicial. That's why you haven't had to skip any commercials or sit and listen through whatever the heck they put on Judicial. Although Judicial can put them on there if they want to. They got to make money. Doesn't bother me. But anyway, it's a totally viewer-supported channel. So what do I always say, folks? I always say thank you for spending your precious time with me. What is this young lady going to talk about? Welfare from Mexico and USA. These are people she's talking about that are double dipping. Something we have to get Nick Shirley on. The case. Oh, wait a minute. Candace Owens said Nick Shirley was a phony and a nice-looking white boy. I didn't even get into that. I can't help but hear it. People talk about it. I don't go out of my way to find that stuff out. But anyway, he seemed to be a very nice young man. Anyway, double dipping. You can get welfare from both Mexico and the USA. And I'm sure a lot more than that. So enjoy this clip. Again, thank you for spending your precious time with me. If you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. So if you're not subscribed, why not? And did you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it? But anyway, enjoy this clip. You all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.
Imagine getting welfare from Mexico and the United States. Well, technically you can do that if you have your dual citizenship. And if you have your dual citizenship, your kids can also get it and their kids. Then you can take advantage of all the benefits they have here in Mexico. Is it ethical? Well, it depends on your situation if you really need it. Or even if you don't, you might even be able to. For example, imagine you're a single mother and you have a 4-year-old. You can collect a check here and in the United States. It's not a lot of money, but bread is bread. And this isn't uncommon in the dual citizenship world, because I know some people that take advantage of this certain benefit. If you're 65 years or older, I believe, they give you a check every 2 months or so just because you're old here in Mexico. So imagine you're old and you're receiving the monthly pension or your retirement from the United States, and then you come here to pick up your 65 and older check. And you don't even need to live here, because I know people that live in the United States and they just come to pick that check up or just use it in their vacay. I don't know. And even if they don't pick it up every month, they can come once a year and all of that money accumulates. I personally don't see it as bad because the government already spends the money in I don't know what, some BS for sure. And all you're doing is taking some of your money back. It's better for you to have it than the government to spend it. I don't know. What do you guys think?